Where were you on 9/11/2001? I can remember I was posted as a close-in sentry in B-52 aircraft uploading nuclear weapons for an exercise at Barstow Air Force Base, Louisiana. With the terrorist attacks on September 11, 2001, security forces personnel in the Air Force that have never left the U.S. base began deploying to Iraq to perform duties miles away from the U.S. Many bases sent their personnel once a year in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. I have been stationed at 2 Air Force bases, and since I've been to those Air Force bases in my 13-year career, I've been deployed twice. Twice to Iraq, once in northern Iraq, once in southern Iraq. Not everyone in the Air Force or security forces career field have been or will ever go to Iraq, but a majority of security forces personnel are required in the Iraq bases for security. Without security forces in these areas, more terrorist attacks on the U.S. could occur. Before leaving to these bases and going to Iraq, you know about equipment and training and your duties. Uniforms and equipment worn in the U.S., we wear ABUs, we have our boots, and we have our defensive forwarded flash. That's on our beret. Also, we have our gear, and we carry a utility belt with our ammo and all our handcuffs, OC spray, ASP baton, and we carry that stuff on our gear, along with some gloves, and we have rain gear with us. And we have our second chance vest. That just gives us that second chance in case we get shot with some small arms fire. Uniforms and equipment in the U.S. are similar to the ones in Iraq, but the uniforms in Iraq, they wear DCUs. ABUs is the same, but we wear DCUs also sometimes. The color is light brown. That load-bearing vest is a vest that we wear for equipment in Iraq. That carries that M16 pouches and that wet weather gear, the goggles, the gloves, an MRE maybe, some zip ties, camelback, medical kit. Instead of that second chance vest, we wear a body armor. And that body armor vest that has 2 plates, and it's for heavy arms and stops large caliber bullets. Now that you have a little bit of uniforms and equipment to ensure that you're proficient with your job, you need to go ahead and train. That U.S. training is crucial for weapons qualification. The weapons qualification, you're using a 9mm or M16, M4, and that you get twice a year. Then you got annually on your ASP baton and your OC spray. Annual evals on entry control, patrolling, your desk sergeant, you get trained on that. So in the U.S. bases, you got key for using at the U.S. base, but can be used in conjunction with Iraq training. In Iraq, base training is done before you deploy. We do it at Silver Flag Alpha in Indian Springs, Nevada, or Fort Dix, New Jersey. They train us on land navigation, air-based ground defense concept, land navigation, BDOC, which is the Base Defense Operations Center, the convoys, patrolling. After you're proficient at your job and training, you will have to actually do your job. Your duties at the U.S. base are vital to keeping the base safe. You have law enforcement duties on patrolling, speed gun, emergency response, community involvement. Then you're posted at the main gate, which is real vital because you're the last line of defense. Then we also have some patrols that do flight line security, which protect the aircraft in the flight line. With the U.S. not being in as much of a threat, Iraq does have similar duties, but it's usually under immediate threat. Duties in Iraq consist of off-base patrolling, contact with local nationals, patrolling base perimeters, fences, working the perimeter towers, observing off-base activities, 24-hour surveillance. And you also, the last line of defense, working those gates, searching those personnel and those vehicles. So you need to make sure you're proficient at that. Working in the U.S. can in Iraq be stressful at times and a great experience. As you can see, there is no security force personnel at these bases, then the personnel will be in danger. Not only are there certain uniforms and equipment required, sufficient training is needed to ensure the duties are protecting the usual non-hostile base in the U.S. and combat environment in Iraq. Security forces is a large piece of the puzzle that make up the organization of these bases.